Y'all requested it. Here it is. This is one of those episodes I think a little too close to home, but I'm going to do it. Don't be mad at me at how it ends. So in the beginning of the episode, we are introduced to somebody that they're calling Mr. Chambers. And Mr. Chambers looked like he in jail. So I immediately go, girl, is this the episode of Love at the Lockup or Twilight Zone? And everything this man does, they watching him. He go to wash his face. They like, conserve water. And it becomes very clear that they are actually in space. They're talking to him through this little light fixture. And they're like, what food would you like today? He's like, I don't want any food. I just want to chain smoke cigarettes until I die. So he asked them, what time is it? They're like, girl, we don't have time up here in space. It's whatever it is what it is. So he's like, okay, then what time is it on Earth? They're like 12 noon. So he starts to visualize what it would feel like if he was on Earth and it was 12 noon. And then it fades to New York. And you now realize that he's in the future, but he used to live in New York. And that is when I leaned in because I said, well, what put him in space prison? What did he do? They show us this building and the narrator that is not Rod Serling at this time. So I'm assuming, oh, this is a character that's important to this story. He's like, we should have known it was going to go left because every nation was fighting. And I'm like, girl, I can't lean in anymore. I'm gonna break my neck. What's going on? And right as I'm about to break my damn neck, they show that a UFO landed one day and completely changed the world. Naturally, the American people were looking to congressmen and their leaders to let them know what next steps are. Should we be concerned? Is this okay? And also, naturally, there was complete chaos leading up to the press conference. So the Secretary General gets up there and he says at 11 o'clock today, a new species that refers to themselves as the Kanamits landed in Newark, New Jersey. Of all damn cities, of course it's gonna be Newark, New Jersey, of course. But here's T. They also landed in the Soviet Union, Norway, France, Rio de Janeiro, and several others. Like they were making their presence known across the globe. He's like, don't panic, don't make any sudden moves. We're gonna handle it. Y'all need to relax. First of all, so of course the journalists are the only real bad bitches in the room and they like, what do they look like? They tall, they trying to kill us. Have y'all talked to them yet? So all of a sudden this man in this ugly ass hat come in and he start whispering to the Secretary General and the journalists are like, girl, what's going on? And he's like, well, apparently another spacecraft just landed and they're sending a representative here right now. And within 5 seconds, the Kanamit walks through the door. And it's like 9 feet tall, 300-pound, solid bitch. And this is when, as the black woman, I would have got my ass out of there. Because I don't need to be seen with nobody at this table. Baby, we can talk separately. Because I got some stuff to share about these people in this room. So he starts to speak. But his mouth doesn't move. He speaks only with his brain. And it processes through some device that he has on his clothes. And I am so sorry to this Kanamits mama, but he looks like a Monstar from Space Jams. Like, the prosthetic forehead is just way too much for me. But as he's speaking, all the countries from the United Nations are telling their nations what is going on. So the Secretary General asked if he's open to answering questions. And he's like, yeah. So somebody from Argentina raised their hand. And they're basically like, okay, so if you're here, why did you decide to land here now? If you've always been here, why did you decide to land here now? He basically reads him for filth and in a nutshell says, y'all down here messing up this earth. Resources are leaving. There's natural and unnatural disasters. So we came to clear this shit up. But we're good. We're here for good. We're here for good only. Next, the representative from France asked, okay, so if you're going to be helping us, what are you helping us with? Like, do we have to take whatever you're giving us? And he responds, no. You won't be forced to take anything that we're giving you. It's all good. He says, for example, tomorrow we're going to expose y'all to a new power source. And this power source can do everything that y'all are doing for this entire country for more than a couple of pennies. And bitch, I leaned in because, baby, come on down here, Kanamits. My damn electricity bill was $270 in February. Bitch, please help us. So another man from the Soviet Union comes and he's like, okay, so what are your motives? He's like, we don't have any motives. We just want y'all to stop being so damn ghetto. Essentially, that's what he says. I'm serious. And again, I lean in because he sets this book down and it looks like Wakandan or something is written on there. But I'm like, what does this say? But the Americans trust everything that they say. And they're like, oh, great. They're here to offer peace and prosperity. And once again, the narrator says, I just wish that was true. And I said, damn, they really turned on him, girl. What happened? And this is when Chambers comes in. Now, remember, this is the guy that we met smoking a cigarette in space prison. So I'm like, Chambers, what did you do? Or what did they do to you? So Chambers worked for the government. And his job was to decode everything that was in that book and figure out what was really going on or if they were telling the truth. So these two men are like, look, Chambers, you've been able to break every single code that we've thrown at you. What's one more? He's like, girl, I've never even seen these shapes before. I don't know what the hell going on here. Also, I'm gonna need more money and more time to break this down. And I know you're not about to charge the American people another tax on this bullshit. And he's like, how important is it for real? They're like, well, it's pretty damn important because we want to know if they tell the truth or not. So the colonel says, well, why would he just leave the book behind? Like, are they trying to trick us? What's going on? And Chambers is like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to kind of believe them because that shit that they put in the soil that they promised us gave us more vitamins than an entire drugstore. Why are y'all worried about this? We should trust them. The colonel is like, look, I don't give a damn how long it take. Until you can figure out what that book say, you're not leaving his office. So then their coworker Penny walks in and she's like, look, we ain't got much, but we figured out the title of the book. And they turn it around and it says to serve man. And I go, okay, well, I guess they are trying to help him with my stupid ass. So after seeing the title of the book, these fools decide to go full Maury and give this alien a lie detector test. As if a bitch that created a non-perishable power source for the entire world could not beat a damn lie detector test. So they do a couple of tests to make sure they know when he's lying and when he isn't. And it seems pretty normal. So they ask him, what are your motives? He answers, and y'all, it does not move. He's telling the truth, according to the lie detector. He says, we just want to bring you the same peace and satisfaction that we have on our planet. And I'll be damned, but it was actually working. Wars were starting to stop, countries were getting along, and people were being invited to their planet by the Kanamits. Now, this is when my etymology would have kicked in, and I would have been like, cannabis. What that sound like? No, it's not canines. Canna. And nobody thinks about this as they're being literally weighed to get on this spaceship because they think, oh, they just want to balance out the space. So this asshole who the entire time had just been rude to everybody there is like, well, I'm about to get on here because I got diplomatic immunity or whatever the hell he thought he had. But back at the office, nobody needs decoders anymore because everybody is leaving. And he's like, it's so funny. For every one of them that comes here, 1,000 of our people go to their planet. It's weird. So since Penny and him have had all this downtime, Penny has continued to try to decode the book. Period, girl. I know that's right, because we need to get to the bottom of this. And she's like, you know, they have different capitals and different lowercase, and I think I can finally be able to read it by the end of the week. Well, it just so happens that he is able to get onto the ship and go by the end of the week as well. And as we see him boarding the ship, Penny is sprinting around this corner to him. And she runs up just in time to see him about to board. And she yells at him, Mr. Chambers, don't get on the ship. I decoded the rest of the book. It's a damn cookbook. And everybody goes, bitch, a cookbook? Hold on now. But it's too late. They haul his ass up in that spaceship and they take off. And now we're back to where we started. And he in there smoking them cigarettes because he does not want to be healthy enough to be eating. And I have to understand. So they open up the door and they're like, yo, you have not eaten enough. You're going to lose weight. You need to eat this food. And he like, fuck your food, girl. When he yells at the alien and tells him, I'm not eating this food, the alien come in there like Herbert the pervert from Family Guy. We don't want these muscly arms to decrease. Now we want you to eat this food. Like, it's completely said, baby, you need to eat so that you can be good. And it ends with him looking in the camera and says, you know what? I don't know where you are. I don't know if you up here with me or if you down on earth, but this is our fault. And baby, unfortunately, he gives in and he starts to eat. So I don't know if they flambéed him, broiled him, barbecued, or baked him, but he gone now. Top 5 episodes. Which one y'all want next?